My dear friends, let's give some tzedakah, some extra tzedakah today, as we do every day, and express our prayers to God. Time to see the light. We're living a moment of challenges. And these are the last moments of the final redemption. But these last moments are tough ones. And they're being stretching for too long. So please, God, Vayhi oyer, bring us the light already. It says that light that you have concealed at the moment of creation, and you concealed it for the time of the Beis Hamikdash. It's time. And I would say especially now, since tomorrow is supposed to be the eclipse, the solar eclipse seen in many states, which people are very concerned about. Could cause, in fact, they said it could have all kinds of atmospheric effects. Even animals are affected by it in their behavior. There could be interference in electronic frequencies. There can be severe weather changes. So maybe before this, bring the light, the ultimate light. Now let us look a little bit from the Torah perspective, what a solar eclipse represents. Interesting, we know there is no blessing for a solar eclipse. While for every other event there are blessings. How come there is no blessing for solar eclipse? What is a blessing? A blessing is recognition that everything is from God. A blessing is a recognition and a thanking God for any event that's happening. So why is there no blessing for an eclipse? The Talmud says the following. Talmud in the tractate Sukkah says the Talmud. Tanu Rabbanan, our sages tell us, Bisman shacham aloika, when there is a solar eclipse, simen ra legoyim, it's a bad omen for the whole world. Levan aloika, a lunar eclipse, simen ra lesaneim shel Yisrael. That's more directly related to the Jewish people. Why? The Jewish calendar is based on the lunar cycle, where the world general calendar is based on the solar cycle. So solar eclipse represents darkness for the entire world. A lunar eclipse represents a moment of darkness, particularly for the Jewish people. And the Gemara goes on to give an explanation. It would be like a king who invited all his subjects to a huge party and lighting. Beautiful event. At the last moment, the king got upset about the behavior of the people. He can't cancel the party. The people are there. So what does he do? He extinguishes all the lights. Now, having a party in the dark is not going to be very enjoyable. So that's his way of basically punishing the people. But here's the question. An eclipse is a phenomenon that is calculated years before. We know exactly when those eclipses are going to happen. So how can we say that that 20 odd years ago God already planned that people in this area will be no good, and therefore I am going to give an eclipse? Even if it is so that God sees that there will be bad behavior, we know we can repent. Whole story of Yom Kippur, of Navi, of Yonah, that he knew that God will forgive them because they can the last minute repent, although it was predicted total destruction for them. So what does it mean that the Talmud says that this is a time where God knows that we are going to ill behave and therefore he brings an eclipse, he removes the light? We can change. Our freedom of choice is not taken away from us. So the Rebbe explains it as follows. What it means is there are certain times that are prone for inappropriate behavior. There are areas that are prone for inappropriate behavior. There are times also which this could cause a person to ill behave. So says the Talmud, those times which were calculated that there will be a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse are times which are inherently could bring about an inappropriate behavior. And therefore, says the Rebbe, that's a time that we should add extra prayers. We should add in extra good deeds. We should add in the effort of Torah and mitzvahs. This will alleviate the negativity of the eclipse. The negative powers which can be unleashed at those moments can be transformed by our prayers. Blessing is a joyous occasion. We don't make a prayer for fast day. We do prayers for the holidays, but we don't do a blessing for fast days.